Shalom. I'm gonna start off by giving all glory, praises, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Karkwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And salutations to the brothers that's teaching his truth and sincerity. And shalom to the whole far elect, the 1/3. All right. Today's lesson is gonna be titled Eve loves these scriptures. So pretty much I was scrolling on Instagram. There's pretty much gonna be two accounts, but whatever. I was scrolling on Instagram, right? And I seen this girl on my timeline, whatever. I clicked her profile and whatnot. I seen in her bio a script. And I'm not gonna get into the detail how I know the girl, but it's just comical to me because if you knew whatever, if you knew what she did for work, it's just friggin' hilarious. Cause I was like, what are you doing posting scriptures? You know what I mean? Like, this is just weird to me. So whatever, I see that, I kind of scoff. I'm like, okay. But then I actually go and look up the scripture now, and I'm gonna read it right now. It says Proverbs 3:15. All right, and it says, "She is more precious than rubies, and all the things thou canst desire are not to be compared unto her." Right? So off rip, when I read that, I started laughing. I'm like, this bitch really thinks that scripture is talking about a woman, right? And it's not talking about a woman. This is talking about wisdom, okay? You know, and when you scroll up, that's what it's talking about. Proverbs 3:13. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding, for the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold. Right? Then it says, she is more precious than rubies, and all the things thou canst desire are not to be compared unto her. Okay? And like I said, it was only talking about wisdom, but you see, in this world, Salakia, people would take what they hear, you know, and just apply it and think it's talking about, okay, this is talking about the woman, but that's why the men of the Lord are here, to break down the scriptures. You know what I mean? Now, you know, whatever, you let people be in their folly and whatnot, it is what it is. You know? It is what it is. What are you going to do about it, for real? You know, you're going to run them down and tell them, yo, that scripture doesn't mean that. Nah, let people be in their delusion, man. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You know? You even have it to where people even taught Bible scriptures and stuff like that. I know this one girl, also, she had this scripture tatted on her, you know, basically thinking the same thing, man. You know? Let me get this real quick. Psalms 48 and this is Psalms 48:3. Tatted, mind you, tatted in the skin, in the flesh, right? You see what I'm saying? It says, this time around, but I'm going to give you the breakdown, obviously. Psalms 48:3. God is known in her palaces for a refuge. Right? So here it is. These women are thinking that the Most High is actually dealing with them on that level, man. You know? Why? Because they're in their delusion. Had she had read the scriptures about the markings and the cuttings of the flesh, she would know not to put that on her skin. You see what I'm saying? So these women are misinterpreting the scriptures, and it's not even meant for them to be pretty much dealing with the scriptures to that level. They need a man to break it down to them, right? So if they had a man of the Lord, they would put things in. It would put things in more perspective, right? Now going back to the last scripture, which was the Proverbs 3:15. So that girl that had that on her bio or whatever, you know, it just goes to show how much these women pretty much think of themselves. You know what I mean? Like they're better Like they're better, they're better than a man and whatnot. Let me get that scripture, man. I didn't hear this scripture about a woman. But actually, it kind of is. So I got to give the balance. I lied. But Isaiah 13:12, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. This is talking about in the last days, all right, when all hell's breaking loose, okay? When men are being drafted to war, okay? And there's cries in the streets, there's a famine, all pestilences, all type of crazy thing. What are you women going to do in that day, right? Isaiah 13:11, read above, and I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, right? You women, you're up there on the list of being prideful, man. Okay? You see, the thing is about these Edomites, they're prideful, the man and the woman, but they're on top. All right? And then guess who's next on the list? Yeah, you could say these other nations, but really it's women overall. Women are like second. Women as a whole are proud in the West, I should say, right? And especially our woman, Eve, Eve and the serpent, they pretty much go hand in hand, right? So they think highly of themselves more than they really should. Really, right now is a time of humbling, but the Lord is pretty much humbling us by esteeming our woman on this side. You know what I mean? But it says, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. All right? So the Lord's going to make a man more precious than fine gold in the last days. Okay? And let's get the next scripture. All right, like I said, I was going to give the balance. So, Shalakia. Proverbs 31, I'm going to get let me see. Salakia. I know it's in this chapter. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Proverbs 31:10. It says, who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. Right? And, even, see, but that's a good, this scriptures get deep because women have a price. And that price was going back to the dowry of when, a man, wanted a woman, and you go to the father and give 30 shekels of silver. All right. But here it's saying a virtuous woman, I said her price is far above even rubies. Okay. And rubies are precious metals, right? Silver is precious stones. Salakia, rubies are precious stones, precious gemstones and whatnot. You know what I mean? And silver is likened unto a precious commodity as well. Okay? You might, if you're making jewelry, you might mix silver with some gemstones or whatever. You mix gold with the gemstones, right? They go hand in hand. They complement each other, right? But even so, more so with the gemstones, because they're even more rare. You don't see them as often. Right? So a virtuous woman, that's a blessing. So her price even goes up in a sense spiritually, you know what I mean? That's what it's saying here. But in this society, we're not finding that. You see what I'm saying? And I'm going to get another scriptures to back that up. But let's get the word virtuous anyways. Interlinear concordance. See what it's saying here. Kayal.
Strong's H2428. Chayil. Khayil.
Khayal. All right. It says strength, might, efficiency, wealth, army. Strength, ability, efficiency, wealth, force, army. Is that the word I'm looking for? Virtuous. I guess it is. Yep. Well, yeah, whatever. It says strength, might, efficiency, wealth. Well, your woman adds onto your household. You know, she's a. How do you say it? When you take her from her father, you know, she's of value. You see what I'm saying? Because she's gonna help around the house. She's gonna. Proverbs 31 outlines that she cooks, she cleans, she sews, she makes garments, right? She takes care of the children, you know, and she reverences you. You see, this is how a woman gets honored and reverenced, by her playing her role, being meek and humble towards her man, and even people in the community, they be like, that's a good woman. You see what I'm saying? When she's out and about, she's humble. She's looking down. She's not looking man in the eyes. You know, she may have to go and do business because her man is out on road. He's hunting, whatever. I don't know. He's fishing. I'm just putting back in the ancient world or whatever, right? You know, but even now, our women go grocery shopping and stuff like that. They're supposed to act a certain way. They're supposed to carry themselves a certain way, man. When we're working, whatever the case may be, right? You know, you're supposed to be like, oh, okay, but all that goes back to the man as well. The man really goes back to the woman, the mother, training her up, the father overseeing it, right? And then the man really shouldn't have to do too much talking with her husband. Her husband shouldn't really have to do too much talking to her. You know what I mean? There might be instances where, you might have to talk to her, or, discipline her, whatever. You know what I mean? But for the most part, women in the ancient world were raised for a man. You see what I'm saying? But in this society, they're not being raised properly. They're being told that Disney lie, right? That Disney fairy tale lie. And it's out of order, you know? Let me just try and find this one. It's Solomon. Yeah, so this is Ecclesiastes 7, and I'm gonna start at 26. Actually, I'm gonna start at 25. It says, I applied mine heart to know and to search and to seek out wisdom and the reason of things, and to know the wickedness of folly, even of foolishness and madness. And I find more bitter than death The woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands, whoso pleaseth Yahweh shall escape from her. Right? Now, if you know anything about a woman, she can't beat you physically. She's going to beat you mentally. Or she's going to try and beat you mentally. If you don't have these scriptures, you're not armed with the armor of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Right? So she's going to try and, verbally, whatever, she's on a psychological warfare too, man. She'll wear you down in the mind. Talk in circles. She'll want to, like, say you get in a disagreement with a woman, or whatever, and you're trying to offer the solution. Not, she wants to drag out the whole process because of her emotions, right? At that point, there's not really much to be said. You know what I mean? If you're offering up the solution and she's trying to talk in circles about how she feels and how she feels and how she feels, blah, 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 she'll wear you down with that annoyance. So to where sometimes you should be like, yeah, you're planning to say, yeah, you're right, Because, like, say you're not wrong according to the scriptures, you're not wrong. Ultimately, we're not wrong. 100% of the time, we're not wrong. I don't care, because they don't have the scriptures. You know what I mean? Let's be real here. These women don't have the scriptures, and I'm gonna prove to you why they don't have it. And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth Yahweh shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. Right? The sin. So the woman, the wickedness of the woman is for the sinner, man. Right? The sinning man. The one that's not with Yahweh. Doesn't have the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai on him. Right? Verse 27, behold, this I have found, saith the preacher, counting one by one to find out the account, which yet my soul seeketh, but I find not one man among 1,000 have I found, but a woman among all those have I not found. So that's to show you that these women are they are who they are. You see what I'm saying? That's why they need to be guided a certain way, and they need to be taught a certain way. You see what I'm saying? But they're being taught by the devil, the so-called white man, Esau, Edom, our woman in particular, the so-called black woman, Hispanic woman, Native American woman. We get on the black woman a lot, but the Native American woman, she's into two-spirit business, like the black woman, but the Native American, she said, I'm two-spirit. I mean, she's part of that alphabet agenda, right? The Latina woman, she's still wicked. She has wicked ways about her too. All right, and if she hangs around with the Southern Kingdom women, her attitude's on 1,000. Okay, so there ain't, whatever we say. The apostles say, listen to the apostles. You know what I mean? They give sound advice, right? So, but ultimately, just use wisdom. Use wisdom when you're dealing with these women. Period. You know what I mean? But going back to the girl with the Proverbs 3:15 scripture, I would have actually respected it more, if she had Proverbs 31 and 10. You know what I mean? But the thing is, she's not a virtuous woman, right? Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. You see what I'm saying? And for the simple fact that she's not a virtuous woman, I would also respect it if she had this in her bio. You see what I'm saying? This is Jeremiah 31:22, but she doesn't know the scriptures. You see what I'm saying? So even women in their wickedness, they don't even know the scriptures to even apply the scriptures in wickedness. You know what I mean? So I don't know how it got past me. Yeah, so I would even respect it more if she had this, right? Because this goes with their MO. I'll break it down. Jeremiah 31:23. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, the God of Israel. No, Salakia, 22. Jeremiah 31:22. How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord Yahweh hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. Okay? And that's what's going on. But you see in the NLT they go off. It doesn't even say what it is. It's referring to Israel. You know? So I'll read it in the NLT to show you how the NLT can go off sometimes. How long will ye wander, my wayward daughter, referring to Israel, the nation of Israel, the whole nation, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, the Native Americans, and the foreigners that may look like the other nations. For the Lord will cause something new to happen. Israel will embrace her God. What? That's not the same translation as in the 2022. But that's the thing. These women are reading different translations, not getting the solid understanding, right? Going back to my point, I would have even respected it more if the woman had this scripture in her bio, you know, pretty much going into the ideology of these women being boss bitches, boss babes, and, you know, strong and independent and all these things. You see what I'm saying? But they're so out of the loop. They don't know the scriptures like that. You know, whatever. They shouldn't know it anyway. But I'm just saying, like, us being in this truth, we could be like, all right, I'll tell my hat to that. I'm like, all right, you might know a little something. Obviously, she's off. She's wicked. We're not listening to her. But, you know, but that's to show you how bugged out these women are. They don't know how to apply the scriptures anyways. You know what I mean? But that was pretty much the point. I didn't really want to make this too long. But Lord will, you're edified. And to the next one.